Hey, what's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to try to fix a grinding noise problem in a Toro rear wheel lawnmower. I've got a 2009 model 20333 22-inch recycler lawnmower. It's been making a grinding noise since the sort of the end of last year. I thought it might be the transmission. I replaced that, and the transmission belt, but that didn't do anything. So there's another way that this grinding noise can be fixed, and hopefully we're going to take a look at that today and try to get our lawnmower back nice and quiet again with the drive system working. The tips online that I saw from a couple different people out there was saying that the issue is not with the transmission. It's not with the grinding noises that you're hearing, and not coming from the transmission. They're coming from the pinion gear on the axle not lining up correctly with the teeth on the sprocket gear inside the wheel, which makes sense to me based on what I'm seeing when I take the wheels off, and I'll do that in a little bit and show you. I can see that only the ends, the very tip of the teeth, the plastic teeth on the gear inside the wheel is touching the gear. And the more you use it, that metal gear is just going to wear away. It's just going to rip right through those teeth. So it's not seated properly. And what they're saying is that the back wheels are towed in. They're going at an angle this way instead of being flush. So you need the wheel to be exactly perpendicular with the axle so that the gears can mesh correctly. And the grinding noise you're hearing is every once in a while, as the metal gear, pinion gear goes around, it's slipping. It catches a tooth on the plastic tooth on the wheel sometimes, and sometimes it misses. Sometimes it catches, sometimes it misses. So I believe that's the grinding noise that I'm hearing. So I am going to, what they're saying is it's not lining up correctly. So what I'm going to do is just take a straight edge from the front tire and come back, and you can see that there is a gap there. If I'm looking at this right, yep, I don't know if you can see that. There's definitely a gap there. It's about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. In fact, if I don't press on the front wheel, it's more like 1/4 of an inch gap. I've already checked the other side, and it's the same thing. I can also put a straight edge on the back of the mower, like this. And hold it tight, and you can see there's a gap there as well. I don't know how well you can see that. I should probably zoom in if I can. That right angle edge was hitting the rear of the wheel, but it was not hitting the front of the wheel. And I'm trying to go as straight as I can off the back. So they do look kind of toe. You can just kind of eyeball it and see that the front of the wheel looks like it's closer to the mower than the rear of the wheel. So what the recommendation is to put a shim, some kind of a shim, in between the mower deck and this black plate here, where the wheel attaches to. So they said to put a shim in there, some kind of a shim. So I'm going to try doing that. I'm actually going to try to put a couple of washers on these bolts. There's 2 bolts here. If you can see them, one's on the top, one's directly below it. One's down here. I don't know if you can see. But anyway, there's 2 bolts there. I'm going to put a couple of washers that I have. I have a whole box of washers in the house. I'm going to see if I can put the washers on in between the mower deck and this black plate here, which should push the plate out a little bit and should angle the rear wheels out a little bit that way, and see if I get more of a flush contact with the wheel, the sprocket gear inside the wheel, and the pinion gear on the axle. So see if that works. Okay, so step one, as you can see, I flipped the mower over so that I could work on it easier. And if you do that, put a piece of saran wrap over the gas cap. Helps from gas leaking out. So I've got my mower tipped up so that I can get good access to the back wheels. I'm going to quickly show you. Here is the brand new transmission that I put in there. I think I've used it once or twice with the grinding noise, but the transmission works fine. My old transmission worked fine too. That wasn't it. There's a new, you can see the transmission belt back there, that's brand new as well. So that's the new transmission that I put in. And here you can get a good view of the bolts that I'm going to put the washers on. Of course, they're going to be on the outside of the deck, not the inside. But see those two gold bolts? These are the ones that we have to take off after we take the wheels off. Two on that side and two on that side. So the shims I'm going to put in, or the washers I'm going to put in, are going to be between the black plate and the deck, like I said. So first things first, let's get the wheels off. I already have this one loose. Get that off. So before, I wanted to show you the teeth on this wheel. I think it's easier to see on the other one. This one's actually not too bad. This one's a lot better than the other side. Don't see too much wear, but the wear that I do see is on the front tip of the teeth. You can see they're getting, I don't know if you can see, but just it seems like the front tip of the teeth are making solid contact, as opposed to the whole pinion gear going inside this plastic gear on the wheel. Like I said, the other side's worse. And this one, again, these are new wheels I bought last year. And if you look, these have lots of wear. They're not too bad. My old wheels were worse, but you can see it certainly looks like there's more wear towards the end of the plastic gear than in the middle. So, hopefully once we straighten out the angle of the wheels and get them nice and flush, this will be better. So right here, this is the plate I was talking about. This is the plate that this height adjustment attaches to, which is the axle goes through. So the idea with the shim is to put the washers in, or the shims in between this plate and the mower deck. So that's what I'm going to do. First I'm going to get these bolts off. Well, as you can see, I knew I was going to have a hard time getting my bolt, these screws back in. Actually, only one I was going to have a hard time back here. I didn't have any room to get my hand back in there, so I ended up taking off the blade and this housing, this piece of cover here, and the bottom. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it or not, but I have the shims in place, and you can see the plate, the black plate is a little bit, mounting plate is a little bit further away from the frame. There's a space in there. I put a couple washers back here and a hard rubber plastic washer type thing back here that's about, I would say, about 1/4 of an inch, something like that, 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, something like that. So I did it on that side, and I did it that side as well. You can see that black washer in there. It's about 1/4 of an inch, and then a couple washers in the front. So this plate right here is definitely further away from the frame than it used to be. So hopefully that will make the gears mesh nice and easy, nice and cleanly and evenly with the gear, plastic gear inside the wheel. We shall see. I put the cover back on, these two covers. Now I'll just slap the blade back on the wheels and the blade and see if this fix worked or if it was a complete waste of time. Okay, so now I got the mower back together, and now I'm going to see if it made any difference. The shims that I put in, as you can see the metal washers down there in between the frame, right there, in between the frame and the red deck and that black plate. So I'm just gonna look at the bottom, try to get it as even as I can, and that is much better. There's still a tiny. Oh, actually, there's no gap now. Yeah, so that's much better on that side. If I do the straight edge along the front tire, kind of as straight as I can. Look at that. Now it's hitting the. Now it's. See, now it's hitting the front of the back tire and not just going right to the back. It wasn't touching the front of the rear tire before at all. So I accomplished what I... Let's check this side now. Try to get that on there. And again, much better. Not much of a gap at all. At the front of the rear tire. Tiny one, but much better than it was. So now we'll start her up and see if it made any difference at all. Okay, now we are ready for our test. Got the shims in place between the deck and the black bracket where the wheels attach to, and let's see if the personal pace does its personal pace thing now. Fingers crossed. This is running now like it was when it's new, like it was when it was new. I don't want to get too excited because when I got the new wheels last year, it ran like new for a couple months with the new wheels before the teeth started grinding again. But watch this. Just a press of my finger. No grinding. No grinding. The throttle thingy is not even halfway down. course, this is the model 20333, so I can run the engine without running the blades. But I can engage the blades, just to make sure that's still working. 1 second. Okay, the blades are engaged. Just going to press down a little bit on the throttle, and it's working, and I'm cutting grass. Forgot to put my mulch thing back. Oh yeah, by the way, I'll talk about that in a minute. Personal pace is back to doing its personal pace thing. Awesome. Let's see, no more grinding. No more grinding noises. I have it set to cut very high right now. So, oh man, what a relief. I'm not even barely putting any pressure on the acceleration bar at all, throttle bar at all, whatever it's called, nothing. And it is running great, and no more grinding. Noise before was so bad, it was embarrassing to use the mower. I couldn't use it anymore. In fact, I took the entire transmission off. Take the belt off now. Again, this model you can run just without the blades going. Look at that. I'm just using my thumb just to touch it. It's going nice. Wow, I hope this lasts. This lasts a while. So, no more grinding. Oh man. And if it ever should happen again, if I ever hear grinding noise again, I'll know it's because of the pinion gear grinding against the plastic sprocket gear inside the rear wheels. Make any adjustments you have to make sure that they're seated properly, so you got a nice flush seating between the two gears. Whatever you have to do to make that happen. I can't believe it. This is great. This is great. Got my old mower back again. I'm not going to break my back anymore. Yeah, it got so bad before turn it off. Got so bad before I had to take the transmission out. I just took it completely out, took the belt off. I took the axle off, so the wheels were just mounted to the side bracket, and I was pushing it around, and I did that once with my yard, and I said enough of this. It was too much work. This isn't the lightest mower in the world to push without any rear wheel drive. So, oh man, I'm so happy it's working again. Well, again, we'll see how long it lasts. One thing I just want to mention, I had to pull back this rubber tab here on the height adjuster for the rear wheels. I had to pull this back a little bit so that I could adjust my rear wheels to the desired height that I want. I just have to pull back on this black tab, so if they fall off, they fall off, not a big deal. But they don't feel like they're gonna fall off. But I did have to pull this back a little bit. But I can raise and lower the unit, still have that feature. Some guys who put the shim in a different spot, they don't put them in the bolt, they just jam something in between the metal here and the deck, and that's fine. You can do that too. Whatever you have to do to push the front part of this rear wheel out is what you need to do. Fix my problem, at least for now. And yeah, pretty happy. Hope this helps. Hope this saves somebody some money. Take care.